Okay, so hopefully we're all able to download Java and Eclipse, and maybe do that first program I went over in the video about downloading those things. I'm just opening Eclipse up, and I have that class that we made last time name. So I want to show us a couple things. In this video, we're going to go over some basics. I just want to talk about sort of organization in Eclipse and how you would change your workspace, look at the .java files, comment on some commenting, line commenting, block commenting, and then java.commenting, which we won't use yet, but you'll use next quarter. Mac users have a package requirement, so you'll need to put a package name in for each of your classes, and multiple classes can be inside the same package. I'll show you how to do that. Then we'll make a new class, hello class, talk about string literals, which is anything in quotes. I want to sort of demonstrate the difference between a print line and a print statement. The print line has a new line character at the end and starts the next statement on a new line. The print statement would start the next print at the same space that statement ends. Generally, within a code, you would want at some point you would want to have a new line character or a print line statement as your last print, so that the next thing that gets printed would be on its own line. Generally, especially if someone else is going to be utilizing your code, they will probably make that assumption. Then I'll go through the common escape sequences, the \t for a tab, \n again for a new line character. If we want to print a quotation mark, because you're printing anything in quotes, if you put another quote, then it'll end the string. So to not end the string and have the quotation mark print, you print a \, followed by a quote. And same thing if we want to print a \, we have to print \, in our string we have to put \, and that'll print one \. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to Eclipse, and you notice I already have this class, so I can close this class. Just close it, click. There it goes. Usually it'll ask me, do you want to save this class? And you would say yes. And that's over here in chapter 1. And if you look in here, this folder's our source code folder. You can open that up. We have a default package. Again, if you're in a Mac, you'll need to name your package. So that code here, that class name.java, I can now open it up. There it is. Over here in Eclipse, I have a task list and an outline. If I don't want these things, if I'm not using them, which I'm not, I can just close them. And if I close them and I didn't want to close them, I can go back and go into show view here. And if I want to pull them back, say the task list, there it is, comes back out, or go back into window, show view. I think the other one was outline. There it is. There's a learning curve to Eclipse, and we're not going to utilize all of its features. The console is where things will print, so that's down here. See the console. So that's probably in one of these show views as well. There's console. So if I click that, it's highlighting it down here. If I accidentally lose my console and go back to window, show view, click on the console, and it'll show back up down here. Okay, so let's just run this guy. So run it here, run, prints 3 lines of code, my name, Tutangi, or what you can type online, JT. Let's make a new class. So I'm going to close this, and I'll show you again. Why don't I go ahead and talk about the organization over here. So this is my package explorer. Just trying to close this. Maybe I can't close it right now. Pause for a second. Okay, so if I accidentally closed my package explorer, where did it go? Where's all my code? Again, I can go back to the window, show view, show me my package explorer, click, there it is. There's chapter 1, it's a Java project, so I'm gonna do a new Java project. So new Java project. It's gonna create a new folder. Project name, let's call it chapter 2. We're not there yet, but I'm just gonna set it up. Chapter, forget if I put a space, I did not, 2. And basically, you know, use the default location. I don't think I need to do any of this stuff. We just say new, select a working set type. Let's go Java. Cancel this for a second. I think I didn't see the, my zoom is covering up the bottom of the screen, so you can't see it. I don't want to hit new there, I just want to hit finish. Finish. Generate comments, I don't need that right now. I'm just gonna say create. There it is, chapter 2. Source code, it created a module in there, I didn't really need that. Let's delete it. Yes. Oh, so there's my chapter 1, go back to chapter 1. Here's my name, let's make a class called Hello Class. So I'm gonna go back into chapter 1, file. This is opening a new class. So you can see here it says source folder, chapter 1, source folder. I'll help those Mac users out in a minute. I'm going to do a new class. So the classes always begin with a capitalized letter. So hello class for the first word. It's going to be public, meaning other code could utilize it. I'm going to use public static void main. That's going to add the main function, and I don't have to type that in. And I'm going to hit finish. Notice I left the package blank, and it's going to be a default package. So there it is, hello class. And this is a comment line. So let's put up at the top. I'm going to put a block of commenting. It's going to go backslash, /star, / return. And then I'm going to put comments in up here, my name. So you should put your name. Maybe computer science 142, maybe the date. And that allows me to know who wrote the program when I'm grading something. I'll know whose it is. Oftentimes I'll be getting 25 to 30 submissions, and if you don't have your name on them, there's no way for me to tell once I open it who it belongs to. Okay, so this class is called Hello Class. Notice suppose I want to change this to a 2, Hello Class version 2. Oh, it gives me an error because this class name has to match this file name over here, Hello Class. So it doesn't like that. If I change that, I can change it here, rename. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to change this one back. And the error goes away. So those are syntactical errors that Eclipse will highlight for us and let us know that we've done something wrong. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to print hello class. So I'm going to come in here and do a print statement with a capital system dot output dot print line. And notice if I hit open parenthesis, it'll put the open and the close. Same with the quotes. Hit one quote, it puts 2 in for me. That makes my life a little easier. It's also doing automatic indentation for me if I let it. So I'm going to print here, hello class. Notice the little red dot after here wants a semicolon. So this is the basic building structure here of Java. We have a class at the top level. It has an open and closed brace, curly brace, for where that class lives. So that class goes from there to there. If I hit return after that open curly brace, it automatically indents me 1 level of indentation, which is, I think, 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then down here I have a method, the main method. It added it for me. Public static void, the name of the method is main. We'll always look for main and run it first. Again, main, the contents of main are contained within these curly brackets. Eclipse did this for us, but that portion of code is main. If I hit return after a curly brace here, it automatically indents me the right amount again for spaces. So if I make a mistake, like suppose main closes and I hit return, well, you'll notice if you're careful that the indentation is off from what you want it to be. So like if I am here, I know there's a problem because I should be inside of main. So I might go back and I hit return, or like notice if I don't have my semicolon at the end of my sentence, well, it still does the automatic indentation for me, so that's good. Okay, system.out.println hello class, and then I want to do a print statement, not a print line, print. Again, open parenthesis, it does them both. Open quote, it does them both. My name is, well, my name is colon space. Semicolon. So then now the next thing that prints, there I have a typo. If you have errors, it's good to try to resolve them as you go. So if I see this red error message here, right? I see that red underline. I'd like to try to fix that before I move on. Okay, so now if I print another print, or maybe let's do a print line statement here. Open parenthesis, open quote. My name is, well, my first name is actually John, but I prefer to go by. So now I'm gonna actually change this back to a print statement. And I'm gonna put a space after that by. Oh, let's say my last name. I prefer to go by my last name, comma, space. Let's run this, see what it looks like. So you can pause the video and get that code written in, and then come back to the video after you've typed all that code in and make sure that you run it and that it produces this output. My name is John, but I prefer to go my last name. So again, I did a print statement here. Now I'm going to do a print line statement. But I'd like my last name to be in quotes. So notice if I just print this, Toutongi, T-O-U-T-O-N-G-H-I, my last name is not in quotes. If I try to put it in quotes, like that, I get an error and it won't run. If I try to run this, so again, I hit this little green run button, or you can go to File, Edit, let's see, there's a run command somewhere else. Oh, run right here. Run. So you can just run it from there. It's going to say error. Errors exist in the required project. Proceed with the launch. I can say proceed, but it's not going to run. So this errors are not a bad thing. We talk about errors at the end of chapter 1. The error will often tell you what's wrong. So here, especially if I start at the bottom of the error, you know, this is in hello class main. There's a syntax error on the token Toutongi. So, you know, well, you can see it underlined here, but it's trying to tell me where that error is. Okay, so what is that error? Is that the quote that it's trying to print is here. And then Toutongi is seen as a variable there. And then there's another quote inside there with the blue. So the strings, there's an empty string here. And there's a string with a period in it there. And then it's seeing Toutongi as like a variable or something else, not seeing it as, yeah, see, left side of an assignment must be a variable. So it's confused. Okay, so what I wanted is I wanted that quote to print. So in order to do that, I have to use an escape sequence, which is the backslash followed by the quotation mark, and I need another one over here backslash quotation mark. And these are the escape sequences for a quotation mark. And now I run it. Hi, hello class, my name is John, but I prefer to go by my last name, comma, quote, to Tongi. So let's get rid of this colon. I think that's weird. Run it again. One of the things I'm a stickler for is punctuation, complete sentences, proper English, attention to detail. I will be pointing those things out to you as we go, but it's always good to have someone else maybe read your content or look over something. Notice this last statement is a print line. I could also have made it a print statement, and it's going to look exactly the same. I would not want to end my class like that, because if someone else came along and wanted to print something after this, they're going to probably assume that the next thing would print on a new line. So I can change this to a print line, fine, or I could add a statement here at the end, system.out.println, and just have nothing in it. And that'll just print and finish it basically prints a new line statement, new line character. Another way to do that would be to put a new line character at the end of this string with a \n. Let's put that, let's see if I can put that, let's put that up here, the hello class. If I put a \n here, then that's going to add an empty line in between these two lines, because the \n will print, taking me to the new line, and then the print line will print another one, take me down another line. Okay, good. And I probably would not put this as a single print line statement at the end. We would probably just make the last statement a print line. Okay, so I talked for a minute about how I was going to do this if I were using a Mac. So apologies, I should have done that earlier because you might be stuck now. On the Mac, let's suppose I make a new class here. Let's make a new package. So we'll make a new package in chapter 1. We'll call it package 1 or P1. And I don't need to create information, I'll just P1. So here's my new package. And now instead of doing hello class, I would have made a new class here. And I would have put it, I can always browse here if I don't know what I called it. I called it P1, or I could just type P1 in there. And then we'll call this hello class 2. And it's public, and I want public static void main to print for me. And I'm going to hit finish. And again, if any of this stuff goes too quick, just pause the video. You can also speed the video up by doing it double time. So that opens up my thing, and then so this will work whether you have a Mac or a PC. But the default package for the Mac doesn't work for some reason, you'll get I think it's like some kind of ant error. So again, I can jump in here and just have a single print statement. Hi class. Something a little bit interesting is sometimes when you run this, it runs it. Sometimes it runs. You'll find sometimes it runs these other programs as well. Maybe that's like a run all. I'm not sure, but you can see they're up here. They're open here. I can close them if I want. Close them all if I want. Close. Where do they live on my computer? So I set up my workspace here on my desktop, Java Summer 20. If I click in there, there's my chapter 1 project folder. Here's my source code folder. These are in the default class. These are my .java files. So Java file. If you're handing code in as code, you would hand this file in through Canvas for me. In package 1, here's hello class 2. Again, all of those classes begin with a capitalized letter for the first word and each successive word thereafter. Hello class. Okay. Okay, so just real quick, one more thing is, again, how do I change my workspace, or how do I find my workspace if I needed to change it? I can go down here to switch workspace and just click on other here, and it'll open up this menu. I can browse to find, either find the workspace I need or choose the one that I'm using. So in this case, I set up that Java Summer 20 folder as my workspace. I just choose it and just say select folder. And then I'll just say launch it. It'll reopen it, and that'll be my workspace. And when this opens, it'll ask, well, it probably won't ask me because I've already set it as my default. But when it first opens the workspace, it'll ask you if you want to make that your default workspace. And I would just say yes. And then you have a space that you know where it is. And so if I want to find these, you can't get these files out of here. There we go. My computer is being a little slow. I can get the files out of here, but I can't. You won't see this anywhere. This setup from Eclipse. I can copy this file, and I think I can paste it onto my desktop if I want. There it is. So then there's my .java file. I can hand that in to me. That's one way. If you don't know where your workspace is, or you're having a hard time finding it, you can copy stuff and paste it onto your desktop. Or ideally, just set up a folder that you know where it is as your workspace, and then all the stuff will go in there. All right, I'm going to actually pause and go back and make a second video where we use additional escape sequences, basically just to create sort of maybe that bit of code, or even just, we'll just do the whole. I'm going to write code that does maybe all of this without the without that part. Okay, so that'll be the next video.